Hello everybody, I'm Ashley Fields with the Antlers, and tonight we are going to be painting our Christmas flamingos. I'm so excited, y'all. These are two different patterns that I really love and that I've been able to do pretty well with over the last year or two since I've had them. So that's what we're going to be working on tonight. You've got to be kidding me. I'm trying to sign on to my Facebook account right quick, y'all, so I could see comments, and it always seems like whenever I'm doing a live is exactly when my iPad doesn't want to work. Okay, let's see. I see myself. Woo! Yay, it's gonna work. Okay. Hey Terry, how are you doing, hun? I'm so glad you're here with me. Y'all, it's not that cold. It's, I don't know, 61 degrees in here, but it's cold enough that I want my ears covered and, you know, I want to be warm. So I'm so glad everybody's able to be here tonight. Y'all, I have been crazy busy. So has my mom. And so between the two of us, those of you that have been to the store, those of you that have maybe reached out online or anything like that, if you haven't heard from us, please be patient with us. It's just been downright crazy. It's just season, you know, it's our season time, it's our busy season. And so we are just insanely busy. And I've honestly been working all day, if you can't already tell by my hands. And today was one of those days where like the weather's not cooperating. So for instance, I started this morning and I have a girl that helps me. Her name's Melissa, and her and I did 10 plaid trucks this morning. So we got the plaid on them and we got them base coated, okay? Then the sun wasn't out, so we had to keep going. So then we did 24 plaid presents and got the plaid done on the presents and got them base coated, okay? Still, sun not drying anything. And then we got 10 countdowns to Christmas primed. Still nothing drying, and I happen to have 50 candy canes that actually Danae helped me do the base coating on, and so I just finished the 50 candy canes about 6 p.m. today, and then I had to hurry up and cook dinner and hurry up and come on here. So it's just been one of those days. I'm running around like crazy. Hey Sandy, hey Carla, hey Kimberly, glad y'all are here tonight. How's everybody doing? Y'all, I totally meant to, and I feel like this is always a story with me. I totally meant to post a photo earlier about what we were going to be doing tonight. I have an Ombre flamingo, okay? I have two different flamingos we're going to work on tonight. We're going to work on the one with the scarf and the hat, and then we're also going to work on the one that I have behind me with just the antlers, like the, I don't know, it's kind of like a Rudolph flamingo without the red nose. And so what I thought that we would do is we're actually going to do one plain flamingo, the regular way I paint it, and then we're going to do one ombre flamingo, okay? The only samples I have tonight are of both ombre style. I don't have any plain samples, simply because honestly, I've already sold out of this one and my plain one. So I don't have any more to show you guys. So we're gonna actually do this guy that I'm showing you the ombre version. I'm gonna show you the regular version tonight. And then we are gonna do the ombre on the antler flamingo, okay? So the flamingo you see behind me, the ombre one, we're gonna do that. And then this one, I'm just gonna do a simple plain one. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want you guys to be able to decide whether you want to do plain flamingos or ombre flamingos. So I do have, here's the plain one. I kind of have it set. This one, I did one coat of white. And then on top of the white, I just brought in my regular light pink and my Christmas green, my white, and my regular red. And then now on my ombre version of the same one, the only thing I did different was I did seafoam green on the scarf. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with these. Honestly, the sky's the limit. So we're just gonna kind of get started with the way I did it. Not that you guys have to do that, but I wanted to be able to show you guys an ombre version as well as a simple, normal, plain version. So, hey Christy, Shannon, Jane, I'm so glad y'all are here with me. Danae, hey honey, how are y'all? Michelle, thank you for coming. Debbie, I'm so glad. Let's see. Debbie says, excited to watch you. Thank you, Debbie. I'm so glad you're here. Danae says they turned out so cute. Danae, all those candy canes you painted for me last week, I finally finished today. And I'm really hoping after the live, I don't know, I'm doubtful, but I'm hoping they'll be dry so I can get a coat of poly and glitter on tonight, because anybody who lives in South Texas, right now, you know that like today the weather was, it was terrible. It was just not good. And so trying to get paint to dry whenever it's humid outside or this, you know, it's really overcast, kind of foggy day, it's just a nightmare. Hey, Amy, how are you doing, hon? Oh, Shannon, you're so sweet. Shannon says, you're so good at this. You are too sweet, Shannon. Okay, y'all. The first thing we're going to start with is we are going to do our Antler Flamingo. And this guy is going to be the version that I'm actually going to show you how to do tonight. So Ombre, right? We're going to start with that dark pink and we're going to fade it out into the light pink. All right? So that's what we're going to do first, because this one, you guys can see, I don't have any pink on it at all yet. In fact, all I did so far was a coat of, how did I know? Was a coat of white. Okay. That back little wall I have behind me, y'all, it doesn't hold the standing up pieces so well. So first thing I'm going to grab is my shading pink, okay, my dark pink. I'm going to start with my dark pink, and then we're going to end up with my light pink. So here's our pink versions that we have. It's the same versions that we have at yardardress.com and in store. You only have 2 different versions of pink, okay? So I'm going to start with the dark, and I'm going to transition that into the light with an ombre type style. Hey, Elena. Hey, Christy. Christy says, I need to kick it in gear for Christmas stuff. I know. Honey, would you believe that tomorrow we are actually going to start cutting Valentine's stuff? Because Tony is a guy who, he works for me, he cuts for me. And I told him, I said, I need you Tuesday, I need you Monday, and I need you Tuesday. And so he was asking, you know, what are we going to be doing tomorrow? And I'm like, honestly, we're going to be cutting Valentine's, because I'm kind of done cutting Christmas as far as cutting the stuff I know I can paint. So we're moving on to that next holiday. Hey, Pam, how are you doing? All right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to start with the, we call this the shading pink. And I'm going to be super honest with y'all. I painted my samples weeks ago, like at least 3 weeks ago, if not a month ago. So I'm really hoping that I recall how I did this. So yeah, so next month, oh, thank you, Mom. My mom, Mary, is also saying that we're going to have New Year's items as well for December. So our December blanks, instead of seeing Christmas, because y'all know that we released some of these Christmas blanks back over the summertime, we're going to get started on New Year's items and Valentine's items. And the reason that we're going to end up doing that is because we actually closed down right after Christmas for at least 2 weeks, but this year it'll probably be a lot closer to 3 weeks. And so because we're going to be closed down for so long and, you know, into the mid-January, to us it just made sense to go ahead and start with our Valentine's patterns kind of early. And then that way you guys have the time to paint them. Like, even though the store is going to be closed, we'll still be able to do lives and stuff like that. But the actual physical store will be closed because we're going to be remodeling. So, hey, Phaedra. Hey, Pam. I'm so glad y'all are here tonight. Y'all, I need to jump into it because y'all know how I am. I can talk and I can talk and I can talk. And that's just part of who I am. So I'm going to go ahead and start. All I did, y'all, is I took a little of the dark pink. And I'm actually using, this is a crafter's choice. It's a 3/4 inch 19 millimeter crafter's choice brush. I got this in a pack of like, I think 12 or 16 brushes from Hobby Lobby for like $15, something around that price. So it's a wash brush, it's a flat brush, squared. And I'm kind of just getting that dark pink started. And then I'm gonna start transitioning into the light pink, okay? Now, when you're doing something like an ombre tone, it really depends on you and how you want to do it, but I kind of tend to almost bring that color like in a circular curved kind of motion. Now, this is also something you don't want too much paint on. You want to kind of keep it on the lighter side so that you can get it blended really well. Now, all I'm doing right now is I'm just touching up those sides a little bit because I want to make sure that those are done really well. All right, so now I've got that dark pink. Now, what I already have in my brush, I'm keeping it in my brush. I'm not going to discard it. And I'm going to now move into the lighter shade of pink. Notice that color I still have in my brush. It's going to end up getting mixed with that lighter shade of pink. That's kind of how you're going to do that ombre. All right, so I put a little bit down on my board, and I'm now just kind of mixing in what I already have in my brush with what I have on my board. Okay, so I'm going directly into that. Now, I'm going to attempt to kind of bring and feather this color, this dark color over. Right? Because it's an ombre, so it's supposed to do a fading kind of look to it. So we're not looking to be perfect or anything here because, you know, nobody needs that. Nobody needs perfection. But I am just looking to kind of create a middle tone here. And now I'm seeing that middle tone come out here over as I'm kind of fading it out, but I'm noticing right here might be a little too dark. So let me grab, I'm just gonna pick up, I'm putting on my table, a little bit more of that darker pink, that shading pink. I'm just gonna pick it up with my brush. All right, I still have that lighter pink on here. And I'm just gonna kind of try to feather and fade that in. I want this to go from light to dark, or from dark to light, excuse me. So you definitely want it to look darker than it is. And then now that I'm kind of buttoned up to the back end, I'm gonna just kind of gently pull over those lighter colors that are in my brush and get a really good blended color over here, okay? So now that dark is starting to blend into the lighter, really this is becoming a medium because I'm really using a mixture of the dark and the light. So I just want that medium kind of pink to be really faded into each other and like feather it in. Now, there's no really right or wrong way. I kind of am trying to do it in the sense of the actual flamingo, like the feathers on it and all of that. I just kind of want it to fade into. So I'm almost doing like a open sea kind of, what's the word? I can't even think of the word I'm looking for, y'all. Like an open sea kind of motion, all right? And so now I have that medium pink. I want to show you guys what I have just so far. Okay, so I start light. It's going into the middle color, okay? This is really just a mixture of the dark and the light. And now I'm gonna go straight into light. I'm still keeping that brush. I still have a little bit of dark in here, and I definitely still have some of that medium tone in here, and that's fine. I want it to be like that. So I just put a little bit pink on here. And this might even be something for some of you guys that aren't as comfortable with painting as I am. You know, I've been doing this a really long time. So for me, I'm a lot more comfortable putting it directly on my piece, getting that paint directly on my piece, and then getting it mixed together. But for some of you, it might be something that's easier to do on a paper plate and kind of mix it on a paper plate. You know, it's really whatever works best for you. I'm realizing I forgot a lot of my edges over here, so I'm trying to just kind of button that up a little bit, all right? Now, I'm gonna just turn it around. I'm gonna continue to get my edges right quick, and then I'll continue to fade out the light color into the medium color. Now notice I did not take anything out of my brush. I didn't use a new brush. I'm using the same brush kind of on purpose, really. All right. Now, I have a lot of this kind of almost base coated raw in a very raw way with this light pink. So now at this point, I'm gonna kind of take where that seam is between my colors, and I'm just gonna go backwards and kind of blend it a little bit. I would just wanna get that lighter color really mixed in with that medium color. And that medium color was really just achieved between these two different pink tones. I'm only using two different colors of pink. I'm not using anything more. So the tone that you're seeing that is kind of in between the two is one that was really created from mixing. Gosh, that's so pretty. I wish y'all could see this in person. Okay, dark pink, faded into light pink, okay? Notice I did up the neck and into the face. I kept it light. And then as you go into the body, it gets a little bit darker. Hey y'all, I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. I'm not being able to see all these comments. Okay, hey Loretta, hey Jennifer, how are y'all? So Mary says the store will be closed about 3 weeks, so gotta have those New Year's Day and Valentine's blanks ready to go. That is correct. In December, we are going to have Valentine's and New Year's ready to go early for you guys because of the 3-week closing. Hey Heather, hey Lynn. All right, Connie says, how's the baby? I don't know if you're talking to me because I don't have a baby. Hey Valerie. All right y'all, so let me finish trying to explain this right quick before I try to catch up with comments. Here's that ombre version of the flamingo. You literally used two colors. I started with dark pink over here, and I transitioned that dark pink into light pink. This mixture that you're kind of seeing in the middle is a mixture between the dark and the light. All I did was started with dark, kept the same brush, and just kind of added in the light pink as I went for the middle. And then as I got kind of up here towards the top of the head, it's mostly light pink left in my brush. And so that is exactly how you do the ombre. All right, super, super cute. I love ombre. Now I am done with this brush. I am gonna put it up. Let me move these two out of the way. And now I'm gonna show you guys, this is the flamingo with the hat and the scarf, okay? Now, the only sample I have of this flamingo is an ombre. However, the way that we're gonna paint and teach this flamingo tonight is gonna be a standard way. So you're gonna get the one with the scarf and the hat in the standard way, and you're gonna get the flamingo with the antlers behind me in the ombre way. That way you guys can decide whether you wanna paint your flamingos ombre or you want to paint them plain Jane. So either way works for me, but I'd rather you guys know both ways so that you can decide what works best for you. All right, Terry says, I think I'm gonna have to get those. You are so sweet, Terry. I just love you to pieces, honey. All right, y'all. I did go ahead and base coat this. I did one coat of white, and then I just came on and I did one coat of light pink on my flamingo. I did Christmas green on my scarf, white on the cuff of my hat, the ball of my hat, and the nose, and then regular red right here on the hat, and then a little bit of black on the nose. So, love the ombre. Thank you, Terry. I love the ombre too. It's super duper cute. And I just think it's really a fun kind of way to mix it up a little bit, do something a little different. All right, now I have my plain one, and it is obviously base coated. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start shading. Now, got to get a spoon to mix this because this paint separates, y'all. If I haven't used it within a couple hours, it'll definitely be separated. So I've always got to stir that up. This is your regular shading pink, and it has a little bit of water added to it. We've talked about the water added to the paint before, and that's always something that's super dependent upon how old your paintbrush is. The older your paintbrush is, the more water that you're gonna need to add. At this moment, I'm just loading the tip of my brush and kind of coming in and gonna create a little bit of shading. So I'm doing a little bit of perimeter shading right now. And then I'm gonna come in here and do the wings. Now I'm going to show you all this with a black outline, but if the black outline might be too much for you, you could always outline in this pink. You could even take this pink and instead of using the full shading pink as your outline, you could mix a little bit of light pink with shading pink and do a shading of that, and then come in and do an outline of the straight shading pink. There's really just so many different ways that you could do this, so it's kind of hard for me to narrow it down. But I tend to want to stick with more simplistic things for you guys, as opposed to kind of trying to do something a little too difficult. So now I'm not taking any more paint in my brush. I'm using what I have loaded in, and I'm just going to do a couple little swipes. Little light swipes, okay? Just a little bit, not too much. And then now I'm going to go ahead and clean out my brush. Now this version of the flamingo with the hat, we obviously have a couple of colors we have to shade. We need to shade the red and we need to shade the green. So we're going to work on this one and get all those colors shaded, and then we will switch back to our other flamingo and get the antlers shaded on there. So let me see, I think I gotta thank y'all. I think I'm gonna go ahead and move into the oh Lordy B, I just dripped a whole lot of that all over me. Ugh. That paint separates a lot, and in these 2-ounce cups, when I take the lid off of it, all that separated paint, it's like that mixture that they kind of use inside the paint sits on top. And so if I'm not careful, I'll drip it and spill it everywhere, and that's exactly what I just did. I just spilt it all over myself. So let me get that mixed up together. This is your regular, I think it's dark green, number 12, I believe. And it does have a little bit of water added to it. So again, I'm gonna start with the corner of my brush. Hey Wendy, hey Brenda, hey Lauren, how are y'all? Hey Deborah. Get the tip of my brush right here. I'm gonna dab it in the green just a little bit. And I'm gonna follow along with these perimeter lines. Now this scarf is a very thin scarf, so notice how I'm using kind of just the edge of my brush. I'm not even using my entire brush. If it was a bigger piece, I would definitely be using the lengthwise, I cannot talk. The length side of my brush, I would be using that. But today, because it's a lot thinner, I'm kind of turning it on its side and making it a real thin line. Do a little, couple little swish marks there. Okay, I got that green shaded. Now I'm gonna get a little bit of shading on the red hat. Now as far as the white goes, I don't shade the white, not on this. I only shade white if I'm trying to make it look like snow a lot of times, or if the white has a really large surface area that it's covering, then I'll try to shade it. But when it's something really small like this, there's no sense. It almost adds too much. And so it becomes one of those things where less is more. And so on this one, as far as the white goes, to me, less is more. Leave it white and let it hang out. All right, shading red, number 23. Again, take my shader. This is a number 16 Royal flat wash brush, but I call it a shader. Dip a little bit on the corner and kind of come in and do a perimeter shade. Okay. Ta-da! Just a little bit. And then I'm just gonna take what's already left in my brush, kind of come in and give it a little bit of a swipe there. All right. Now this flamingo with the scarf is totally done shaded. All it needs is outline and highlights, and it is done. Let me shake that off and get my lid capped. And then I'm gonna move this guy and I'm gonna bring back my ombre flamingo. Now, y'all, you don't like the ombre look, totally fine. Paint it regular and just do a perimeter shading and you're good to go. But I really, really love being able to show you guys a couple of different things. And so that's why I'm showing you ombre today. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Marthlin. Hey, Peggy. Terry says, you put glitter on the white part of the hat. I actually do the poly across the entire piece and do the sprinkle of glitter across the entire piece. So yes, it ends up being glittered, but it is not solid glittered. And what I mean by solid glittered is you put the paint on and you dump the glitter on while it's wet. I do not do that in my painted pieces. They only get glitter after they're dry, and then they all get just a single solid coat of glitter. So, all right, y'all, on my ombre version of the flamingo, the only thing I'm gonna shade is my antlers. So let me grab a little bit of the shading yellow. I've got a couple of different containers of shading yellow, so that one sounded like it was dried up. So got a little bit of shading yellow. Y'all, this does have a tiny bit of water added to it. Again, I'm gonna start with that corner, and I'm gonna get that corner loaded. Now, when it comes to my antlers, I know that I'm not going to outline my antlers in black. Everything else I do outline in black, but really adding that yellow or adding that black outline to a yellow color, it's just really, really harsh. And so a lot of times I don't add that. So that, therefore, when I am shading my yellow, I try to be a lot more cognizant of really butting up to those edges, kind of cleaning up those lines a little bit and not leaving too many boo-boos because they're not gonna get covered. On the rest of the flamingo, I kind of know I can cover a lot of boo-boos, but on something I'm not gonna outline, that makes me need to make sure that I can, what I'm doing and the strokes that I'm making will look okay even without a outline on it, all right? So my antlers, I started with just regular light yellow. I put a little bit of shading yellow and that's done. The only thing I'm gonna do to the antlers is add some highlights. Other than that, you're good to go. So there's your ombre version. Your ombre version is now painted and shaded and it's ready to be outlined. Okay, now y'all know how this is. I can't outline anything with it being wet. So let me grab my blow dryer. I'm gonna have to blow dry a little bit and then we can do outlining and highlighting. Hey Dee, hey Joyce, I'm so glad y'all are here tonight. How are y'all doing? This one, my ombre flamingo is gonna be kind of hard to dry. Simply because it's got a lot of paint on it right now and our temperature is kind of low in here. Okay, it looks like it's at 62 degrees, but my humidity is at, I think it says 81. I don't have the best eyes, I can't tell from here. But those temperatures and that humidity makes a really big difference in how things are gonna dry, how fast they're gonna dry, whether paint's gonna separate on them immediately or not, that sort of thing. And so over the years from painting yard art, I've become very accustomed to really, really paying attention to my temperature and my humidity because it's gonna make a huge difference on how that piece is gonna look. And so y'all know me, most times, like today for instance, the weather was kind of crummy. It was foggy all day. We did not have any sunlight. The humidity was kind of upper middle humidity, I would say it was like 70–80%. And then our temperatures were low. So that means I didn't have anything drying today. It was honestly quite a nightmare trying to get stuff to dry. But that's just kind of part of it, you know, so you have to be able to look at that and say, okay, I might have to adjust my plan that I had for today because the weather's not cooperating. And when it comes to yard art and working with these materials, weather is huge. So I'm gonna try my best to get this one dry. I already rubbed my finger over here and kind of messed something up, but I'm gonna get it to be as dry as I can get it to be, and we'll try to keep moving forward. So, hey Selma, how are you doing, hun? Y'all, I'm so glad to see everybody on tonight. I have not I've not been live very often in the last month or so. It's been our crazy, crazy busy season. And so I've been working a lot and working very long hours. In fact, tonight I'll probably be out here till at least 9, if at least. And then I'll be back at 7 a.m. in the morning when my other people show up to work, because we're all doing glitter work tomorrow. So when we do glitter work, all of us have to work together. And they're coming at 7 a.m. So it's going to be a long night and then an early morning. But I'm happy. I'm excited, y'all. It's that weather's kind of not going to be so great. So we have to do what we have to do. All right. My mom keeps telling me I need to talk about Channel 2. So Channel 2 News here in Houston reached out, and I think they reached out, I guess, last night. And they're coming to do a piece on our store and the blanks and everything tomorrow. And it's not going to actually air. So the filming is tomorrow, but it's not going to air until Saturday, which, in case you guys didn't know, Saturday is Small Business Saturday. So, you know, support your local small businesses, help out the mom and pop stores. So we're really, really excited about that. I don't know for sure what's all going to take place, because we've had some news channels out filming before, but they did want to paint a blank piece tomorrow too. So we're excited to just kind of, you know, show people what we're up to, show people what we've been doing. And then, you know, we've been painting yard art for a long time. Me, full time, I've only been 5 years. Now my mom and dad have been painting yard art since I was little, like less than 10, and I'm 33. I'm old. So it's been a long time, you know, but it's really cool to have other people really interested in what you're doing and what you're all about, especially when you're just a small business like we are. So having you guys, you know, be our support system and getting our name out there, we could not appreciate that anymore. This is going to be one of those patterns tonight, y'all, that I might be picking up a little bit of wet paint as I'm trying to outline and stuff. I can't do much else about it. This paint does just not want to dry very well. Hey, Lupe, how are you, hon? Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Debbie. Yeah, so y'all look for us Saturday. I think it's Saturday evening on Channel 2. The filming that goes on tomorrow will broadcast Saturday night. So, it's, you know, as soon as we have a link to anything, we'll obviously share it with you guys. But those of you that are local, if you are able to watch and tune in, please do so. So that's Channel 2, I think is it KPRC News. So super, super excited about that. Debbie says, please let us know what time it will air. Mary, do you have any idea on what time it will air? I'm not sure if that was given. I know Mary was told Saturday evening. Wonder if you outline the shading pink by mixing some shading pink with red paint. Okay. Mom, you want that one on the ombre version or on the plain version? Pam says this is something. Okay, so Debbie says yes, KPRC. I thought it was KPRC. Yeah, Pam says so exciting. I know, it's super exciting. Mom, how about that outlining on the shading pink and a little bit of red? I'll try that on the ombre version. We're going to stick with this one. I'm trying to just keep it plain Jane for you guys. So I'm going to stick with black outline. On the ombre version, I'm happy to do a dark pink outline. And that way, if you don't care for the black outline that you see behind me, you could always do that as a substitute. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Y'all, this one, it's just going to be some perimeter outline, okay? Nothing all that special. I'm using a number 4 script liner. It's a royal gold script liner brush. The same one you guys always see me use. If you're somebody who's ever seen me painting before, you know that I use my same old raggedy brush. That's my favorite. So don't ever dog the raggedy stuff, because sometimes it's the best. And yes, my brush is bent. And yes, I love it. So I'm just kind of picking up a little bit of paint that I have in my cup. Y'all, this cup has a little bit of water added to it. I would say a few drops really would probably be just fine. If you have an older brush, you're gonna need a little more water. If you have a newer brush, you won't need as much. So water really depends on the age of your brush, and it depends on how you are feeling when you put that brush down. If you feel like your strokes are really short and thin, I'm gonna say add a little bit of water. If you feel like your strokes are maybe too watery, don't add water. It's one of those things that everybody's gonna have a different preference for. And for me and my old worn out raggedy brush, I need water added. Now, allow me to be honest with you guys. When it comes to this scarf, you can see like these little etched cutouts and the same thing right here. I kind of feel like by the time I outline it, it's a kind of a big blob on the edge. So what I actually do is I take that black and I come through and I make a straight line. I don't know if you can see. Make a straight line, okay? And the only reason I do that is because whenever I try to outline it, it's really just a big mess. But that straight line, I actually do come in here and put a little bit of white highlights, and I kind of use those white highlights to create that look at the end, that kind of feathered out look. Okay, so I know it just looks simple right now. It's just a straight line. But. Okay, so Mary says, all I know is it's going to be on channel 2 Saturday night. You need to upgrade that old raggedy brush. What? Don't you be talking bad about her. She's good to me. She treats me right, okay? I'm not throwing her away. Listen to your mom. I'm not listening. This is a great brush. No matter how old she is. Y'all, I swear to y'all, the brushes, by the time I throw them away, they've literally painted thousands of pieces. And so this brush in particular, I know I've been using since at least this time last year. So, you know, there is that. It's been around the block a time or two. But for me, I just love my old brushes. I get the best kind of direction from them, and they also move in the way that I want them to move. I'm hard on brushes. I'm not somebody who takes care of my brushes the way I probably should, you know, like washing them daily and all that. Mine sits in the water for a long time. It is what it is. You shouldn't do it, you know, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. But it's the truth. That's my brush, and that's probably why it's so bent and funky, but it's the best. I love it. So Lupe says, how often do you clean your brushes? Lupe, if you're asking me, I don't think you want my answer, because my answer is a couple times a week. But I'm somebody who paints daily, and so I should really be cleaning my brushes daily. But as far as the truth of the matter is that I might clean them once or twice a week, and that's with just regular Murphy's oil and some water. Now, as far as the xylene, which is what I use when I have dried in paint, I might do that every couple of weeks, but that's also, at the same time, that's because I use these brushes every single day, all day long. You guys probably won't need to use Xylol to clean them until maybe once a month, once every 6 weeks, once every 2 months, depending on how often you use them. But since mine are a daily use, obviously they do get cleaned a lot more often than I expect you guys to clean. So Debbie says, Mary, she'll just come get you. Okay, anybody who's new, you know that I go to my mom's house and I steal her old brushes. Well, I don't steal them. I ask her if I can take them, and she's like, sure, whatever. So I take her brushes. And then later on, she talks about how I steal her brushes, but I always tell her about it in advance. Or I walk in and I'm like, hey, can I have this brush? Because it doesn't look like you use it anymore. And she's like, I guess. So funny. Well, if it works, keep using it. Exactly. Y'all, it works. It works great. Y'all see me do every single live I've done this year has been with this brush. So it might look funky and might look something you would want to throw away, but no, it's good. It's good to go. All right. So there is your plain flamingo outline. All right. The only thing this needs is a little... My mom's calling me a thief. I'm not a thief. I asked for it, or I told you at least. I'm not somebody who just takes stuff without permission. So, yeah, see, my mom says she cleans her brushes daily. That's probably good advice, and I would take that advice before taking my own, because, you know, do as I say and not as I do kind of thing. So, my mom says, one day I asked her, where have you been getting your brushes? And I already know what her next sentences go. She's going to say, I get them from you. Ashley replies, I come and steal yours. See, I told y'all. I know my mom good enough that I knew what she was going to say. It's true. It is true. Debbie says, told her after taking? No, Debbie, my mom is trying to act like that I just go to her house and I take everything and I don't say anything, and that's not the truth. That is not facts. She told me after she takes. No, I don't. You are a liar. All right, y'all. My mom said to take a little bit of dark pink and add some red to it and do an outline with that. So I'm going to try it out for you guys. And you guys can be the judge and see if you like it. I don't think that was enough red. I think I need probably a little more. Add a little bit more. I'm wanting it to be darker than my regular shading pink, okay? Add a little bit of red into there. Get it really, really mixed. Ooh, that's pretty. It's different. I don't know what color this reminds me of. I would say it's like a darker version of salmon. I like it. Okay, we're gonna try it. Selma says, I love the relationship you and your mom have. Yeah, when my mom's just talking mess to me. Just kidding. Yes, we do have a great relationship, y'all. Anytime, you know, stuff's going sideways in my life, or anytime I'm just feeling really unsure, she's my girl. That's who I call. I need advice. I'm lost. I'm sick. I don't feel good. Whatever the case is, I got my mama there. So I could not be more appreciative of the relationship that I'm able to have with her now. Whenever I've said this before in lives, I'm pretty sure, but before I became a mom, we didn't always have the best relationship. Not that I think any, you know, teenagers or young adults necessarily have great relationships with their parents. But I was young and dumb and you know, all that. And I didn't treat my parents the way I feel like as an adult they should have been treated, right? So as I aged a little bit and I was getting through college, and then I ended up having Carly, and I think I had her, I was 22 or 23 when I had her. So I feel like I was a baby. I was young, you know. And so once I had Carly, there's been so many times that I've called my mom and I'm like, I'm so sorry for how I acted as a teenager. I was such a brat to you. Like I was disrespectful and all these things. And then after becoming a mother, it makes you realize everything your mother did for you was out of love and was out of trying to protect you, you know? And at the time, when I was younger, I didn't think that. And so, you know, when I became a mother, it's like, wow, okay, maybe my mom's a lot smarter than I gave her credit for. And so I really attribute our great relationship to the fact of me having Carly. And Carly just opened my eyes to what it's like to be a mom and what it's like to sacrifice everything that you do. And everything that you do is for the good of your child or your children and your family. And so it's just kind of crazy how those things change over time, you know, when you change, when you have kids and that sort of thing. And so I'm very grateful to have my mother. I don't know what I would do without her other than be lost, y'all. She's the best mom. Okay, let's see. All right, so my mom says a little more red. Well, it's a little too late. I think I spent too much time talking and not enough time reading. Okay, she liked that outline color. That's a great color. It's called Growing Up. We all go through it. So true, so true. I didn't appreciate what I had till I grew up a little bit and then realized kind of what I had at that point, you know. All right, y'all. Here is the outline on a pink flamingo. This is just your regular shading pink. Regular shading pink mixed with a little bit of red. That's all it is. It's all regular colors that are in our palette. And then there's kind of that end result that you get. Now this one, I do need to, I'm trying to think. I'm gonna give it a couple of swish marks. I don't know that I like this or not. Well, we'll just figure out if I like it or not together. I'm almost kind of like picking up. I load just a little bit and like put it down, pick up, put it down, pick up, put it down, pick up, kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm not sure I like that 100%, but it's there. So let me add a little bit of black on my eye. Now, as far as the yellow on my antlers goes, I am not going to outline that because the black on the yellow just makes it really, really dark, and I don't want it to be that dark. So I'm gonna wash out my brush, and now I'm actually just gonna get a little bit of white, and we're gonna do a little bit of highlights on here, and then we're done. All right, a little bit of white. This does have a little bit of water added, okay? I load, anytime I'm doing highlights, I almost load that brush, and then I offload that brush, okay? Back to a thin layer of paint on here. And then I'm gonna kind of come in really, really gently and just kind of bring it up, get a little bit of a swipe on that nose. And then on my antlers, I just kind of come in, oh, got a little white right there. And I kind of flow in that direction that the antler's already flowing. Just a little bit of white on there. And now I'm gonna do the same thing along the perimeter. Let me turn it. I'm not 100% sure that I care for this dark pink. I think I prefer the black, honestly. But hey. You guys got to see a little different version, right? Woo. All right, there is your ombre flamingo with antlers. Done. It's got a little bit of white added onto there, okay? Just a little bit. Now let's highlight our flamingo with the scarf and the hat, and then I'll show you guys everything all together. Now we got a regular one. Add a little bit of white, kind of load, offload. Bring that around the perimeter and up, down kind of motion. You don't want it to be so thick that you can see those stark lines, right? Now on here, remember I did that straight black line? Now is when I kind of bring in a little bit of that white. And just kind of create the illusion of like tassels at the end of your scarf. All right, now come back up here. Oh, hold on. Got a lot. I got pink and I got black in there. I got all sorts of other colors in there that I don't want. Put a little bit on the tip and then a little bit on the hat, and voila, you are done. All right, y'all. Here is your plain flamingo version. All right, so you got light pink as your base. You have shading pink as your shading color, and then outlined in black. Your scarf is done in Christmas green, shaded in dark green. Your hat is done in regular red, shaded in shading red, and then all the rest is just black and white. So there's a plain version of the scarf flamingo, and here is ombre version of scarf flamingo. The only difference between these two is the scarf on this one, I used seafoam green. I think it's number 8 seafoam green. This one I used Christmas green. Now, the only reason I used seafoam green on the ombre version is I felt like this ombre version with the kind of pink tones that I had going, I almost didn't like that Christmas green right here. I wanted something a little bit lighter. And so that's why I went with seafoam. And I also did almost a lighter wispy outline on the edges. I did not do a perimeter outline. So I kind of took it close to the perimeter, but not along the perimeter. All right. So ombre one with the, or ombre flamingo with the scarf, and regular flamingo with the scarf. Now, let me switch over to your antler versions. These are both ombre, obviously. On this version, the only difference between the one I did tonight on our live and the one that I did previously for an example is that this one I used black for outline. Other than that, it's the exact same thing. So you're going to start with one coat of white, and then you're going to come in and begin with your dark pink as your base. I started kind of at the butt of the flamingo, and I feathered that dark pink into the light pink here in the middle. And so this color in the middle really came from that dark pink I already had in my brush, and then bringing in light pink. And feathered that all the way up into light pink. And then this one, I outlined it with dark pink with a little bit of red. And then there you go. That is your finished product. So you kind of have a couple of different ideas on techniques on how to paint, as well as outline colors that you could use. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like I've been just jibber jabbering and haven't caught up with comments. So let's see what everybody is saying. Let's see. Terry says, loving this. Melissa says, very cute. Carla, love it. Zelma, love it. Mary says, I need to correct my earlier remark. We will only close the store for 2 weeks right after Christmas. Also, I'm cutting some more Christmas blanks tomorrow and will restock on Wednesday. Awesome. So yeah, those of you who might have missed the beginning, excuse me, next month we're going to be releasing Valentine's items and New Year's items. So New Year's, I want to say we're going to have 3 items for New Year's. Valentine's, I'm not sure. I know we're going to have hearts, and Miss Victoria drew us a Valentine's dog and a Valentine's cat, and I think we got a Cupid coming and all sorts of really fun stuff. And so those items we're going to actually be releasing in December, and then we will be closed for 2 weeks after Christmas. So it's like Christmas Eve we're open, Christmas Day we're closed, and we're closed for 2 weeks. And so we'll at least have our blanks ready for you guys before we close. But if you don't, you're not able to get them before we close, we understand that, no rush. But we're going to actually start doing our Valentine's lives next month. That way you guys have time to do what y'all need to do. So Kimberly says, I love the pink outline. Thank you, Kimberly. Kimberly prefers the pink to, let's say, the black. Yeah, it's different, but you could really go either way. There's so many different things that you could do with flamingos. So Lupe says, are the flamingos at the shop? Yes, Lupe, the flamingos are at the shop, and they're online at yardofrust.com. I need to check on them and see. Last time I checked, I think we were doing okay on stock, but excuse me, if we get low on stock, I'll get some more refilled this weekend. So, hey Don, how are y'all? I'm so glad y'all were able to come with me tonight and hang out with me. It's been such a long time since I've been able to paint. It's been crazy, y'all. It's our busy season. We got probably, 2 weeks left of, the hustle and the bustle and the running around and just insane hours and us just really, working ourselves to the bone. So after that, it'll kind of chill out a little bit, So Kimberly says the pink outline could be for girls and black for boys. There you go. That's a good idea. I like that. All right, y'all. That's all I have for y'all tonight. I will. I don't think we have any more lives during November. I was about to say I'll see y'all soon, but I think you guys won't actually see me until December. So thank y'all so much for coming and joining me tonight. Let this stuff dry, and I'll get a picture posted for y'all tomorrow. And then other than that, y'all enjoy your Thanksgiving, have time with your family, you know, all of that good stuff. Eat lots of yummy food and be safe as always. And as soon as we have an update for December, we will be posting in Yard Art Academy and Yard Artist Painters Club. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.